Swag, what's been going on with you, man?
Not much. Just been editing a lot. That's clear by all the uploads I've been hammering out recently.
Yeah, no, you've been
Uh,
uploading pretty consistent.
yeah. Yeah, I just got like that sudden burst of energy to edit, and then just, what was it? It was Gardic Phone, followed up by Gary's Mod or Half-Life 2 shenanigans
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
I've just
guard
been really
stuff,
trying.
that's sort of been like taken off. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
that's a
always
fun game.
a fun game, man. Like I'm gonna have to get in on it with you guys one of these times.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Just,
Oh, real quick, you know what I wanted to mention?
mm,
So, Cliff, Swag, I don't know about you guys, but I watched this movie Voyagers last night. It was a
mhm.
new release that came out this year. I watched it last night. It's got like Ty Sheridan, Lily Rose Depp, that's Johnny's daughter,
Uh,
and a couple other kids. Colin Farrell's in it too. I checked it out because like I saw the trailers and like the marketing. I thought, oh, this looks really cool, and I watched it and like I liked it, but like it felt like the whole time watching it, I was like, I've seen better versions of this movie. I mean, like the first like straight up the first like 30 or 40 minutes of the movie, it was like, all right, I'm into it. Let's see where this goes. And then it sort of just becomes like a YA version of like Sunshine slash Pandorum, which are two way better movies. And again, like I'm not saying this movie sucked. I'm just saying like it was like the whole time I was watching it, I was like, yeah, I've seen better versions of it though. So
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it was fine. It was beautiful to look at. Like that's for sure. They shot the hell out of that movie. But yeah, just the whole time I was like, yeah, it's whatever. It's fine. But yeah. I will say this though, Ty Sheridan straight up just proving like, yeah, he should probably still be playing Cyclops, but
Yeah.
unfortunately Disney felt the need to rip that franchise away from him. So
Yeah.
too bad. Too bad.
Why,
Yeah.
Disney? Why must you take these things away from us?
And then on top of that, just like pointing their finger at us and laughing. Like I'm still not over the Quicksilver thing from
Yeah, that
WandaVision.
was.
Still not over it. I actually saw somebody today still like clowning that whole thing, which was funny, but yeah, that's neither here nor there.
I love I love that it's been, guys, what, 4 months now, 5 months? People
Something
still
like
mad
that.
about it, like they're all puffy chest about it. Like, can't believe that Disney would do that to me. Meh.
I do believe it, but just
This is the same company that killed James Earl Jones twice, actually 3 times. Let's not play around.
Yeah.
Stop it.
not only that, but like the showrunner on WandaVision tried to like justify it like, oh, we were inspired by the Mandarin twist in Iron Man 3. You mean the plot twist that literally every
Nobody
fan
liked.
did?
Yeah.
Like you were inspired by that? Oh man. Talk about tone deaf. You know what I mean?
Missed 100%. You swung for
Missed
the
the
fence, bud, and you struck out.
Free whiffer on that one.
You're like another
I'm-
Disney film, the one about the baseball player who just kept striking out, couldn't hit the ball. That's you. Congrats.
Bravo. Brought it full circle, Cliff. I appreciate it.
That's
Ladies
what I'm
and
here
gentlemen,
for.
if you didn't know, this is Nerds of the Round Table. I am Antonio Padilla. With me, as always, Cliff Miller, the Red Dog, as if you couldn't tell by all the merch in the background.
Right?
And Mr. Swagtastic from YouTube, the disembodied voice once again.
Hello.
He's right there, in case you can't tell. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we have a show. Not a very big one, but we got a show for you. Although pretty big topics to talk about, that's for sure. So
Quality.
let's get into yes, quality, not quantity. Let's get into it though. We got a trailer that I know we've all been looking forward to for feels like a long time now. We finally got the first teaser trailer for Titans Season 2. I do have to clarify this is a teaser trailer, and the Titans social media pages all clarified we will get a full trailer next month leading up to the premiere of Season 3. But that being said, this teaser trailer, pretty fire, if you ask me. The first thing I said this to Swag yesterday, was it not, Swag?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Yeah. Yesterday on the 17th. By the way, we are recording on June 18th, 2021, which is a Friday. So yeah, Thursday is when it dropped. Thursday, June 17th. So I said to Swag after the trailer, I was like, wow, they are really leaning into the Red Hood of all of this. And I like it. I really like it. I was not expecting to see the Joker, albeit from afar, just beating Jason with that crowbar. Like that, I was legitimately, okay, we're doing it. Let's go. But Cliff, what are your thoughts on this trailer, man? You excited or what?
Bruh, when I saw Robin like pull up, and then there's it looked like a cop who was just like hanging there with like the smile on his face. I was like, oh, we doing this.
Yep.
All right, let's go with it. And then they flash to different scenes, and then you just see like the crowbar, and I was like, let's go. I'm not gonna lie, I was freaking out. I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, straight up, man. That was legitimately my reaction as well. Like, not even. And Cliff, the funny thing is, this week, like for this trailer, I actually had a Cliff moment where I was like, "Oh, this is what Cliff feels like," because I was in my car when the. So I was like, "All right, let's watch this," and I'm just in my car, like, I mean, I was parked, but I was. Just, oh boy. It was great. It was great. Swag, what about you?
Oh, that was, yeah, like again, it's that same thing of like not expecting it, because I just started watching it, like it was on my recommended on YouTube, and I was like, okay, let's watch it, and I watched it. It was like the first thing I watched that day, I think, and yeah, I was not expecting them to go as deep into the Red Hood story as they did, and like even in just this, like it was pretty good. It was also really cool seeing the helmet in action, like on camera with all the lighting and everything. It looked really good. I liked that.
Yeah, like straight up, like everything looked really good in the trailer. Like you were saying, like just under the proper lighting with the, everything color corrected and whatnot. Everything looked really good. It was also great just to see the Nightwing suit again.
Yeah.
So, we were waiting so long to see it last time. So that was cool. Also, the inclusion of Bruce Wayne, that shot of Bruce, and you see like the bloody crowbar laying in Wayne Manor. Like that, honestly, that shot got me. Where I'm just like, all right, man, let's see what this is gonna be. Like, I'm into it. We did also get our first look at Vincent Kartheiser as Jonathan Crane, which is cool. I was not expecting him to go full beard with his appearance, but I'm into it. I like it. Let's see where it goes. But yeah, no, I'm really excited about this, man. What else do I have to say? Like, trailer looked good. It got me. So, Cliff, what about you?
I like it. I'm in, and I can't wait to get the full trailer. So, and maybe I'll find out what happened to Donna.
Yeah.
You will. You will.
It's like the only thing. The only thing until she comes back, I'm just gonna be like, I don't care.
Every episode, she's just gonna be like, Donna.
Yeah. Wonder Woman 1984 opened up my eyes.
Episode really ends and he's like, there'll be time to do this again next week.
Yeah, exactly. I was hoping you were gonna pick up on that. and it did not disappoint me. For those of you who don't know, that was a Critical Role reference.
Yeah.
So yeah, Swag and I are into Critical Role. We're nerds. But yes, Cliff, I'm with you on that for sure. Swag, what about you?
Yeah, definitely. Like, like I love both seasons again, aside from the finale. But it's
Yeah.
I can't wait to get back into it, especially just to see this new story they're gonna tell, and even just again the Red Hood story, which we're familiar with, but also to see what kind of twists and different changes they make to it. So yeah, I'm excited to see this new season.
Yeah, absolutely. And also before I forget, I do want to mention, so they also wrap production on season 3 this week. And while everybody on Instagram, the cast, were posting like photos, like, oh, that's a wrap on season 3. Can't wait for you guys to see it. Blah blah blah. On Anna Diop's Instagram, who plays Starfire on the show, for those of you who didn't know, she posted a photo of herself and Tegan Croft, who plays Raven, and Tegan was wearing something. I'm not sure if this was supposed to be posted or not, but she was definitely wearing something that resembles the traditional Raven costume. However, without the cloak, without the hood. And I mean, like, it was a candid behind the scenes, like they were giving each other a hug, like, hey, that's a wrap. So I'm sure like she took the hood off because it was probably pretty hot.
Yeah.
But see the suit under, like, it had the belt that we all associate with Raven, and yeah, so there it is. So just wanted to point that out in case anyone didn't see it, and if you did, let us know what you thought. Like, it got me pretty excited, and but like I said, I knew there was a story that came out a couple months ago that like she was doing a test fitting for something, so it was like obviously like, yeah, she's gonna be wearing her suit this year, so that's pretty cool. So Cliff, I don't know, did you see that poster or no?
No, I missed it. I did, but I did see the photos for Raven, and I'm like, we getting there. We really are, and I'm super hyped about it.
Yes, me too. Swag, I don't know about you. Did you see it or not?
No, I wish I did.
I'll have to find it, and if I do find it, like, I'm sure Swag will have put it up on screen for everybody to see. But there it is. But yeah, so Titan season 3. Anybody who doesn't know, this is dropping again. Like I said, it's dropping August 12th, which is also, from what I just found out, when season 4 of Young Justice is premiering. So we should get a trailer for that soon, which I'm hyped about because I love Young Justice. Y'all know that. But yeah, so August is going to be a big month, definitely. That's also when The Suicide Squad drops, which once again, you'll be able to watch it on HBO Max as well as in theaters. So there's that. All right. I know I said we only had the one trailer to talk about this week, guys, but I completely spaced, and Cliff, you know this. We also got the trailer for season 2 of Stargirl, which had some dope stuff in it. So let's talk about it, man. I mean, obviously, the big one is we finally got to see Jade, the daughter of the original Green Lantern, Alan Scott, which was awesome. She had the ring, she had the lantern, blew my mind. I'm into it. Let's go. As well as, like, look, it's just great to see the characters again. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, that got me right here, seeing everybody back, doing their thing. So yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to Stargirl. Is this not also going to be an August premiere? August 10th, if I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw that date too.
Yeah. So yeah, once again, just another thing happening this August. Cliff, I'm gonna throw it over to you. What do you think of this trailer, man?
No, I'm excited to see Green Lantern finally. So I mean, we get to actually check it out, and then it is a full lantern. It's not like she was chosen, but she wasn't like chosen like like how most people would associate getting chosen by the ring. But it was very cool. I'm very hyped. There's gonna be a lot. I like the interaction so far, and like I was very honest. I was like, at first I was kind of like about this show, but like Yeah, this show won me over, and I'm like, I really can't wait till season 2.
100%, man. Like I said, like this show is like the ultimate example of winning over an audience. Because like Cliff was not feeling it, but like by the time it was over, he was like, "Yeah, I love this show." So that's pretty good. Pretty high marks for Stargirl. Swag, what about you? Season 2 trailer for Stargirl.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah, again, like it was that thing, like being happy to see everybody on screen again, and all these characters, interacting with one another again. Like it was great because it's been a while since the end of the first season, so it was nice, getting it again, even if it was just a small trailer. But again, it also got me excited to get a second season, and yeah, like seeing our Lantern show up, like that's gonna be great to have in the series. I can't wait to see what that's gonna be like, because they've already done like all these characters like really well. So it's like I can't wait to see the effects and everything for Jade. So that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, can't wait to see what her suit's gonna look like. And
Yeah.
also, I have to applaud them for not showing too much.
Yeah.
Because John Wesley Shipp, he already shot his episode like months ago, and so it could have been so easy for them to throw him into this trailer to get people like super hyped about it. And the fact that they were like, we're gonna hold off on that. It's like, bravo, like you're showing some restraint on that, man. So like, yeah, man, I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what season 2 is gonna bring. Especially since we did get to see Shade, the Changing Man, in this trailer. Still no sight of Eclipso yet, which we know is the main villain of the season. So we'll see. We'll see moving forward. But yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen the trailer, let us know what you thought about it. Are you excited? Remember, Stargirl has moved over to the CW, but this trailer proves that they are keeping up with the same production, and so no worries over here. All right, so those are the trailers we got for you this week, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move into the news, where we got this piece of casting this week. Cliff, I know you still haven't gotten into the John Wick movies, and that's totally cool. However, I'm going to be like, Cliff, you might want to get on that soon, because pretty soon you're not going to be able to get caught up on them in time.
Yeah.
However, the news broke that Hiroyuki Sanada has joined the cast of John Wick Chapter 4, and y'all know I'm a huge fan of this man as an actor. He was most recently seen as Scorpion in Mortal Kombat, and again, he's in so many of my favorite movies. A movie I referenced earlier in the show, Sunshine. He's fantastic in that movie. He's amazing in everything he does. But yeah, he has joined the cast of Chapter 4, opposite Keanu Reeves, obviously, but also the previously announced and unfortunately not reported on by us previously, Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen has also joined Chapter 4. Yeah, which is dope. So yeah, man, like obviously I'm super hyped. I love this franchise. I love this man as an actor. He's phenomenal. He's fantastic. I am super excited. Again, they haven't disclosed who he's playing, what he's playing. It could be, he could be a villain. He could be an ally to John Wick, which is what I'm hoping for, because I would love to see them team up and just take down the high table, which we know from the ending of Chapter 3 that's going to be what happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. I can't wait to see this movie. I mean, these movies always have amazing casts. They just do. So, yes, bring it on. Let's do it. Swag, I'm going to throw this one over to you. What do you think about this? How do you feel?
Oh, this is great. Because it's like getting introduced to him and his acting, and both in Mortal Kombat and in Army of the Dead, even though his was very brief moments, it was still pretty good. But yeah, it's like I can't wait to see whether he's going to be a new enemy or he's going to be an ally, which, yeah, it's like, I hope he is going to be a new ally, because that would be great, so we get more of him.
Yeah.
But, and even Donnie Yen, like, that's going to be really great, because it's like, you know, he's going to be doing a lot of his action stuff, and that's going to be awesome to see. And then also just to see what his character is going to be like. I can't wait to see this movie, just in general, because that, yeah, like chapter 2 or 3 ended on like a very like a really big cliffhanger that's like exciting just to think about.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this
exactly.
would be awesome.
It is, yeah. No, and you're right about like Donnie Yen, because like the great thing about Donnie Yen is, you know, he's obviously martial arts expert, and almost every movie he's been in, he will like collaborate with the coordinators to incorporate everything he knows and elevate fight scenes in whatever project he's in. So the fact that he's going to be in this movie working with people like Chad Stahelski and his whole team, like that's awesome. That's exciting in a way that, you know, I hadn't even realized until I was just thinking about it right now. Like that's incredible. So
Yeah.
like, way to like kick it up a notch for chapter 4. Like that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah. And Cliff, I do want to get your thoughts on this. Like, again, like we know you haven't seen the movies, but regardless, like how do you feel about the way this cast is shaping up?
All right, so we'll start with Sanada, right? It's definitely awesome seeing that he's in there, and yeah, we just talked about Scorpion, and you know, like even I was talking about it when we talked about him when he got casted for Scorpion. I talked about how, you know, I loved him from Lost, and how like going forward, like he's just continuing like just this badass character, like in all things that he's in. So I'm definitely hyped about it. Donnie Yen, I know I thought I read a rumor somewhere that he's gonna be alongside Keanu. So for the John Wick movies, he's going to be like aiding him. It's funny because I'm glad that we actually get to bring this up. So me and another friend, we got into this argument, right? And we were talking about baddest kung fu fighters in a 4-person tournament, right? And we were talking about Donnie Yen, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, and God, I wanted to think. I'm trying to remember. There was another person we brought in a conversation, Tony Jaa. That's what it was. And we were talking about like who we thought was the best fighter of all 4 of them, right? And I said Donnie Yen. And so many people got mad at me because I said Donnie Yen. They're like, have you seen any of his movies? I was like, I've seen them all, and he's beaten world champions. I was like, he beat Mike Tyson. I was like, that happened. It's like in a movie. I was like, who? I was like, and they're like, someone was just like, well, Jet Li beat Nathan Jones. I was like, everyone has beaten Nathan Jones. Like, that is not something we brag about. But I thought about it, I was like,
go ahead.
I was like, Donnie is like the way that he uses his martial arts in his movies, like you could clearly see it's him. It's not like, you know, I love Jet Li, but Jet Li obviously has a lot of choreograph that goes into his work, and then Tony Jaa is just a complete badass himself. But it's just something about Donnie Yen. His smooth mannerisms are just like, you can always tell like he's always calm no matter what happens. And I was like, yo, like you have to go with him. I was like, there's no reason not to. It's like, I love this man.
Dude, Donnie Yen is look, this is so funny. Like we're talking about this because when I did the episode with Lee, Alicia McClendon, her and I were talking about Donnie Yen and like how you know how awesome he is and like what an inspiration he is. But like we were talking about like or not her and I, but like Donnie Yen plays Ip Man, the man who trained Bruce Lee. Yeah. Like what do you like, game over right there. Check and you know what I mean? Like, there's no I'm with Cliff, man. Like there's no argument here. Like Donnie Yen is like he could take everyone out. You know what I'm saying? And again, no disrespect, like Cliff was saying, Tony Jaa, amazing, incredible. Jackie Chan, a legend, obviously. You know, it goes without saying, like all these guys are fantastic, amazing. But like if I were to choose one, yeah, Donnie Yen. Easily, like that's not even a conversation. Like,
yeah, I was like, but how do you? Has like we've seen the movies where like all these top stars are with with Donnie Yen, and then like as he's playing Ip Man, and like just obliterates people. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
it's like, and full disclosure, it was with Anthony, and Anthony was like, "There's no way you could ever beat Mike Tyson." I was like, "He did it twice."
Yeah.
So
Look,
yeah,
man,
I love Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen's the man. And like Cliff and I go like way back in our love for Donnie Yen. Like this isn't even like a recent thing. Like we've been fans of him since we were like teenagers. You know what I mean? I mean, like, look, yeah, Donnie Yen's the man. So yes, if he's gonna be in a John Wick movie, sign me up. I mean, I was already there. Y'all already have my money, but it's on. But yeah, and Swag, I'm glad you brought up Army of the Dead. Like, yeah, because Hiroyuki Sanada was also in that. Again, like you said, like didn't have a big role, but he's sort of the dude who sets everything in motion in that movie. You know? And without him, it doesn't work. And it totally works. Yeah, and that's another one of those things where like Swag and I talked about it. And again, ladies and gentlemen, like we haven't talked about Army of the Dead yet because Cliff, have you seen it yet?
No, I have not seen it yet.
That's why.
That's why.
That's why. But without getting too deep into it, without spoiling anything for Cliff, like I was talking to Swag about it. It's like the movie introduces a lot of concepts and ideas, and it doesn't fully explain a lot of them, but that's because there's a prequel coming out. They already shot the prequel. There's a prequel coming out. There's an animated series that's going to be on Netflix. And obviously, again, minor spoiler alert, if you've seen the movie, there's obviously going to be a sequel. So there's going to be room to expand upon all the stuff that was introduced in this first movie. And hopefully Hiroyuki Sanada's character is one of them. So yeah, no, again, like I just want to bring that up because like yeah, man, like this dude's everywhere. He's been in almost everything this year alone. Like that, I saw someone refer to this as the Sanada songs, and I was like that. I'm gonna put that on a shirt. I like it. So yeah, man. Like I said, I say this about everyone who I'm a big fan of, but put this man in everything. Seriously, I put him in everything. I'm there. But yeah, so that's awesome. Can't wait to see the movie. It's gonna be great. All right, let's move on because we're gonna get into games, ladies and gentlemen. And if you remember last week's episode, we did talk about how E3 was happening last week, and we did promise you some coverage of it this week. However, before we get into E3, and there's a specific discussion Swag wants to have this week as well. But before we get into that, Cliff, you brought up that Call of Duty, the new season of Call of Duty dropped. So I'm going to hand it over to you, you and Swag. If you both want to talk about it, go ahead. Cliff, on to you.
This is mostly
Yeah,
you,
so
Cliff.
let's talk about
I haven't played it yet.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Swag. This is all on us. We don't
Okay.
we don't want to choke this. All right. How are we going to start this off? Well, let's be real. Okay, so we find out that satellites are crashing into the Earth. That's what we find out. It's specifically Verdansk. I don't know why Verdansk is the choice, but it is.
Yeah, of all places
Everything
they could
happens
have
in
picked.
Verdansk. Nuclear bombs, zombies, fucking satellites, the works. This season we're gonna get 3 new characters that are gonna be added to the game, which is pretty cool. We got a bunch of new skins. We got 2 major, one LMG and one also AR that's gonna be added to the game. Assault rifle. I think it's like the CR86 if I remember, and the LR82. The other weapon of choice, which is my personal choice, you get a nail gun. That's right. You just shoot people with a nail gun.
Yeah, I actually remember seeing that.
And also at close range, it is the deadliest thing ever. It takes 3 shots to take a guy out, and I'm all about this life. This gun is so OP. I will say though, what I really liked about the we ran into it by accident actually last night when I was playing. But when you pick up the satellite links, you can actually take one of the satellites down. You only get 1 per game. So if your team does it early in the game, you don't get it for the rest of the game, which kind of sucks, but it's all right with me a little bit. But you get an advanced UAV off of one. Another one that you can do is you can actually get the truck. So you get a new truck that legit has its own trophy systems. It has its own its own box to it. You can upgrade it. You can put more armor on it. You can do everything with this truck. It is amazing. So yeah, it's a beast. And then like as you put more money into the truck, you get more stuff for the truck. So it's crazy. So there's gonna be a lot going on with it right now. Big news too. This was actually something that I was really excited for. Is that if you go to the Gulag, and I went there all the times that we played, it's the middle section from Yacht. So if you guys are familiar with what Yacht is like, yeah, you get to run Yacht on the game. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's cool. I did watch the trailer, and I'm looking at the roadmap right now. What they've all got planned for this season. I totally forgot. Yeah, like the whole thing this season is the satellites in Warzone, which like it's I don't know why. Verdansk is the hot spot for everything. The place just sucks. I don't know why people choose to build a city there. But this is like if I were playing, like it would definitely. There's a lot to do this season. Also, did you mention the new score streak, the hand cannon?
No, I didn't mention that one.
Yeah, that thing's like it's basically just a Desert Eagle, but with a huge, like a massive green laser on the top of it. From what I hear, it's pretty OP.
I'm gonna go unlock that tonight.
Yeah, I actually did see gameplay. It looks fun. Definitely looks like it's a fun thing to use. I do want to mention though, as somebody who didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to Warzone the last few times I played Call of Duty. If you are just looking for, other stuff to do, if you're a zombies fan, there's a new Outbreak map that's coming out, and then a whole new entire map. What's that? Mauer der Toten? That's the new one. So yeah, looking for new zombies stuff. That's coming out. So yeah, that sounds like fun. Might have to download the game again and check it out.
I know, I'm telling you, man. Like when I was running with Yacht last night, I was so mad because like I knew like there's an opening to the left, opening to the right, so I'm like throwing like grenades down one side and stuns on the other, and I go run back to the side that I threw the stun at, and some dude would just shoot me in the face, and I was like, this is terrible. I was like, I'm not winning. I went like 1 for 7. I was like, I feel terrible in this game right now.
There's a reason why me and my group of people referred to that map on Black Ops 2 as the murder boat.
Oh, that was something else. The advanced UAV goes for 3 minutes, by the way, in this game.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it's a long time to run it.
Yeah. Well, you can't hide. That's
Nope.
No
you cannot.
there.
Yeah.
That's gotta suck for anybody in like the final circle. It's like we got a chance. Advanced UAV overhead. Well, time to pack our bags. We're going home.
Well, the crazy thing though is that let's say you run in Ghost on in Warzone and you get hit with the UAV, you just show up as a dot. It won't tell you what direction you're looking in. You just show up as a dot. Whereas like if you don't have obviously Ghost, you show up as an arrow and which way they're looking.
Yeah, to know exactly where you're looking.
Right.
What you're aiming at.
Yeah.
And that's the update for Season 4.
There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're playing it, let us know. Let us know what you think about it. If you're having, if you've experienced any of this. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So thanks for bringing that up, Cliff, because otherwise I would not have. So awesome. But all right. So let's get into the E3 coverage. I'm not going to lie. I was a little disappointed with E3 this year because there just wasn't a whole lot that they talked about that I really cared about. I know a lot of people were excited. Like, what's the one that everyone was excited about? Spike, was it Returnal?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the one everyone was excited about, and like, hey, good for you. I'm just saying, like, not for me.
Yeah.
But if you're excited about it, that's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, there just wasn't a whole lot for me personally. Apparently, WB Games had a panel.
Yeah. And neither of us knew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
neither of us knew it happened. Like, that's how underwhelming it was. Like, even now, trying to find information about it is like, I don't know. so yeah, I have no idea what they presented or what. So yeah, that's how kind of underwhelming everything was at E3 this year. However, there is something I do want to talk about, and it's like a 50-50 thing where, like, yeah, I think it's cool and like I might check it out, but at the same time I've got a lot of like, again, kind of some critical thoughts on it. So like Square Enix had a presentation, obviously, and sort of their big announcement was the Guardians of the Galaxy video game.
Yeah.
Which, again, cool, very cool. I liked the look of the game. I think like visually it looks stunning. It looks incredible. And I honestly didn't run into any of the problems I had with the Avengers game, like with the character models and designs or anything. Like, for once, I was happy that Star-Lord didn't look like Chris Pratt, because fuck Chris Pratt. We're not going to get into that right now. But I liked the design. I actually really liked what they did with the character's hair, which I thought looked cool. And I liked Swag and I talked about like that Avengers game where they did the Marvel thing where they applied the Marvel Studios color grading to that game, which made it look like you were looking at wet cement the whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. This game, however, does not have that problem, or at least based on the trailer, anyways.
Yeah,
like the colors look very vibrant and rich. Yeah, it looks really good. So that looked really cool, and yeah, I mean, like, overall the game does look very cool, but there were a few things that kind of, rubbed me the wrong way. And again, it's nothing to do with the game itself, but like during the presentation, like the developers and people who worked on the game were doing interviews and stuff, and they were talking about how this is our chance to present our version of the Guardians, and to give them a fresh new take that's completely original to us. And it's literally just Guardians of the Galaxy from the movie.
Yep.
Like, literally, all the characters feel exactly like they're from the movies. All the dialogue, it sounds like they're trying to do James Gunn dialogue.
Gunn, yep.
Like, this isn't fresh. This isn't new. You're just doing an imitation of what James Gunn did. So, like, don't say you're doing a fresh new thing when you're just imitating what came before.
Yeah.
That's really the thing that kind of irked me about that presentation. Also, if you'll remember in last week's episode of this show, we talked about the Masters of the Universe trailer. Fantastic. Loved it. But they used Waiting for a Hero. Am I getting that right? In the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either Waiting for a Hero or Waiting on a Hero. Regardless, you know the song. Everybody knows the song. So imagine how surprised I was when that same song played during this trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. And again, it's a great song, and I get that like we're trying to evoke a certain time period by using that song, and that's great, but it felt like, are we doing this again? Like, I was like, you know what I mean? Like, it was, because I spoke to Swag about this, and again, like, this is not a judgment on the game itself. It's like, it's the marketing people, because I talked to Swag about this, and Cliff, I'm sure you noticed this as well. From like 2017 to even just last year, 2020, sort of the go-to 80s song was Blue Monday by New Order. And look, I love that song. It's a great song, and I'm never going to complain about hearing it. But it's like every time someone wanted to evoke the 80s, they would use that song. Yeah. And it did kind of get a little annoying. And I'm like, is this going to be the next one? Is this going to be the go-to like 80s song to get the 80s vibe across? If so, I'm not. And it's funny because on Kevin Smith's podcast, Fat Man Beyond, him and Mark Bernardin actually spoke about this specifically, where they said, "Thank God we got we dropped our trailer 4 days prior because if we had been the second one to do it, like we would have got destroyed. And I was like, yeah, probably for sure. But yeah, those were sort of my only two gripes with the presentation. Also, kind of disappointing that you're not going to get to play as the Guardians. You're only Star-Lord is the character in the game, which is disappointing. That would be like, I said this to Swag already. That would be like if they dropped that Avengers game and you could only play as Iron Man.
Yep.
Like you understand how like misleading that is? Like that's like this isn't really an Avengers game then, you know. So it's like this really isn't Guardians if you can only play as Star-Lord. Like that's
Why not just call it Star-Lord? Like that's
call it Star-Lord.
And
call it Star-Lord, and then tiny text and the Guardians of the Galaxy. That would have been a more accurate title for this game. And again, like I'm sure there's going to be DLC sometime later where you could probably play as some of the other characters in like side missions or whatever, and that'll be fine. But yeah, as of right now, it's kind of disappointing. I don't know. Swag, what about you?
Yeah, I don't really, because I remember seeing it and I watched it and then I think I even said it out loud because it opens with the studio names coming up. And I was like, it's the same people. Like, just super. I was like, I don't have faith in this whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, the second I saw the same studio names that for other people who made the Avengers game, like, all my hope was gone, just out the window. And then even just watching it, I was like, this is, it's fine. Like, I laughed a little bit. And, like, I think that also helped the fact that I didn't watch the full thing and hear somebody say that they were trying to do something different. So think like it's like, oh no, they're just doing the movies. Okay, but like you gotta laugh out of me every now and then. It was a fun trailer, but it's that thing where it's like I don't know how I feel about like I think I'm gonna approach this cautiously. Like I'm gonna watch everything that they release on it, and I wanna make sure that this is something I want to be interested in before I go all in like I did with Avengers and then end up disappointed again.
Yeah. And it's funny, like before I forget, like they confirmed this is not connected to the Avengers game. Like it's a separate continuity. But like they're not even trying to build a connected universe with their video games, which is I mean, I get that like Avengers and like the Spider-Man games are not connected because those are different developers altogether. Like I get that, and I remember people were upset about that at the time. But like these are the same developers, and even they're like, no, they're not connected. They're separate. That's a little weird. But
also, I do want to bring up now that you mention it. I just remembered they said that they were supposed to be a Spider-Man character available for people who pre-ordered the game this year, and we haven't gotten anything about that.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, because I remember that announcement as well, and it's been a while, so
yeah.
Where's that at? But
it's like, where's Spider-Man? It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. We got Black Panther though. What, if you want?
We got Black Panther coming out. You want to pick that up? And I'm like, yes, but where's Spider-Man?
It's like, yeah, sure, but I mean, we were promised Spider-Man.
You said Spider-Man. I want Spider-Man. But yeah, no, it's just it's weird, man. It's such a weird thing. Cliff, what did you have any thoughts on the Guardians of the Galaxy video game?
Yes, I'll probably be on the minority side because I actually liked everything about it. I'll be real, and I can agree to your point about the song choice.
Yeah.
Pretty lackluster, just because, like you said, He-Man. But overall, it's like, I love the feel of it. And you didn't. So to be fair, you never say anything bad about the game because the game itself looks like it's beautifully done. I'm very much a fan of the artwork behind it and the way like the characters are acting. It is kind of a bummer. I didn't hear that part about you could only play as Star-Lord, so that does kind of suck because I was only imagining running the game as Rocket anyway.
That's what we all wanted.
I want to be Drax and just not move. That's what I wanted to do. But
listen to the NPC still use like that.
Imagine doing that and getting a trophy.
You get not even
Invisibility.
just that, like you don't move, right? So like the game starts as like choose your character, right? And you choose Drax and you don't move. And like you don't move for like 3 minutes and then credits roll.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Yep.
And then the trophy comes up and it's just like a statue.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do understand, like it is, and you're right, it is kind of played out with like the 80s. There's like so much good 80s anthem songs out there that you could choose anything. And we hear like the same 3 songs because it is either Blue Monday or Holding Out on a Hero or the Immigration Song is another one, which by all means that fits in Thor's world. But I just don't see it, like, and everybody else was like, we got to put this song in there too. I'm like, no. You have so many anthems that you can use. All right.
Yeah.
So I do understand that, and I do understand that point. So I have to agree with you on there. But I don't know, man. The game itself looked really great. Like I said, I'm hyped for it. But yeah, it is kind of a bummer that it's not a connected world. Even though I don't want to play the Avengers game because I thought I was very open right off the jump. I was like, this game looks like trash, and I don't want to play it. And then when it came out, everybody just confirmed what I thought.
Yeah.
And even now, like our good friend Chaz is always like, "Hey Cliff, when are you gonna play Avengers?" It's like never. Even if that shit comes up for free, I don't have the disc on my PS4 to turn on. Okay, and the fact, and I do remember too that was like a big thing that they announced on the Avengers game that if you pre-ordered it on PlayStation, you got Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And to know that you haven't got Spider-Man, that's another issue with that game that I'll never play.
Yeah.
And so, and the fact that you can't connect the universe like to Guardians of the Galaxy, really? Yeah. You know what? Like as good looking as this game looks, I'm just gonna be like, pass.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like straight
I
up.
didn't sign up for Star Wars. I didn't start off to play the game Star Lord and 4 other bitches. Okay, playing Guardians of the Galaxy. Damn it.
No, I'm with you, Cliff. And again, like you did sort of say it, but it's like, yeah, like I didn't really have anything negative to say about the game itself. It was just sort of some of the weird stuff they were doing, just sort of talking about it or whatever. Like that's really where it was like, I don't know about this, but yeah, like I'm with you. I'm with Wag. It's like these guys dropped the ball on their last big game, and it's like, I don't know if I want to go down that that path again. So
Yeah.
I did hear that part too that you mentioned when they're like, we're gonna put our own spin on this universe and Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, they're all James Gunn characters. That's what you did. You know? Like I want Star-Lord. If I'm gonna get a serious Star-Lord, let me get a serious Star-Lord. Let me get a comedic Rocket. Let me get Groot say more than 3 words. Like, yo, I know that's a different spin, even though people will be like, I don't accept it, but I don't care, it's a different spin. What did you do? You cut Gamora's hair. That's what you did. Ooh, shit. Oh my god, man.
Yep.
That's a spin.
Which I do want to say, like the character designs I actually really like for this game.
Yeah.
Even though Groot looks, still looks very, but like, what can you do differently about Groot?
Yeah, I mean, he's a tree. You can't really do much about that.
But like everybody else, like I love the jacket that Star-Lord has in this game. Like it looks really cool. Also, it does give me cyberpunk vibes, which is kind of funny to think about.
Like I did get those vibes too when I was watching the channel or whatever. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like, it looks a little familiar.
Yeah.
It's cool nonetheless. But yeah, no, I like the character designs. I like the model. I think Gamora looks really cool. I like that Drax looked more like comic book Drax. I do like that. Yeah. I don't really have anything negative to say about the game itself. It's mostly just the developer. So
yeah, same here. Because it's like, like this could, like I said, I just want to take it slow. Like I don't want to get super pumped for it. But they could change my mind easily if they do like a full gameplay breakdown soon, and like it doesn't look absolutely boring like Avengers was.
Yeah.
Oh man, if that isn't the biggest relationship like squab like I've ever heard in my life. I just want to take it slow, you know, maybe date a couple other games before we ever get into a full commitment with this one.
That is legitimately, yeah. It's like, look, this isn't really working out, but hey, like, let's stay friends, okay? Like,
we
straight
can
up.
keep a distance. If we can, you know, I'm gonna go see other games while I'm like trying to see you at the same time. Like,
What?
we're
Your
just
sister?
friends.
Life is Strange? No, I don't.
No,
No.
meanwhile, you're just like,
We're gonna get brunch with our friends. Like,
yeah, exactly. Swag, thank you for bringing that up because that's
Life
the
is
other thing I
Strange,
want to
yeah.
talk about. Yeah, that's the other thing I want to talk about at E3. Again, Square Enix. They did announce, and there was a trailer for the Life is Strange remastered collection. Which, look, this I am excited about because the original Life is Strange was a really awesome game, and getting to see the remaster. You know, they did the thing where they do the here's what it looked like before. This is the remastered version, and it looks great. So, and yeah, like I never owned Life is Strange. I played it with other people. So yeah, like I'm definitely gonna pick up the remaster and replay that, especially since they have the new Life is Strange coming out, and that one looks really good as well, as opposed to some of the other sequels slash prequels, which weren't very good. But yeah, Life is Strange also had a great panel slash presentation here, and I was, you know, everything they were saying about the new game got me really excited and really hyped about it. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to Life is Strange. I'm definitely gonna pick up the remaster, definitely gonna play the new one. Yeah, so thank you, Swag, for bringing that up. Swag, what about you? Like I
Oh
know
yeah,
you're just a big fan, so what do you think about this?
yeah. That was seeing the the comparison trailer. That was cool, and like I know, like again, like before they even started comparing things, like I noticed a lot of differences, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, this is definitely a remaster. This looks a lot
Yeah.
better than the original. uh, but yeah, no, like it's gonna be great to play that again, the first one, and then again, like with this new one, like I remember I saw that trailer, like it. It's funny how I found out about it too, because like it wasn't even a trailer that got recommended to me. I was just modding my Fallout game, and I got an advertisement on my the modding website, and I was like, "Wait, what? Is this a real thing?" I went to YouTube and looked it up, and I was like, "What? How did I miss this?" I watched the whole thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
"This is awesome! I don't know how I missed this, but this is awesome."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I can't wait for this new one. This is gonna be, a lot more. It's a funny joke to make here, but yeah, it's a lot of emotions, the waiting in this game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was the other thing. That's like I can't wait to play the remaster and just to break my heart all over again.
Yep.
Yes, it is, man. Like all the choices you have to make in that game, heartbreaking.
Rough. Yeah.
So yeah, man, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, so that is those are the things that kind of were the big ones that I want to talk about. I don't know, Cliff. Was there anything else that happened at E3 that you wanted to talk about?
No, but I did want to make a note that one of the characters in Life is Strange in the remaster looked a lot like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and I was like, "Is Lucille with him?" Because that's all I really care about.
Does he have the bat
Not wrong.
suit? That's what I care about.
That's what I
Yeah,
want to know. For the pieces.
nice, nice. Swag. Anything else you want to talk about that happened at E3 this year?
Oh yeah. Like this was a big one that I want to mention. Battlefield. Uh, that was a thing. I don't. And here's the weird thing, because I remember like it was being streamed on a YouTuber, Jack Frags, who I watch for a lot of my Battlefield stuff. He was doing a stream that day, and he was breaking down the gameplay trailer that had just dropped. And just in the chat, I was just getting a bunch of negative opinions. And I was like, what? What's going on? So I didn't see it because he was already just like, oh, this looks like this. And I was like, okay, hold on, let me go watch it. And I watched it and I got to the end and I was like, I don't know why people don't like this. This looks
Yeah.
just more like 4, but new engine, bigger scale combat with more players. Like it looks fun, looks interesting. And then I was reading I still got no context as to what happened, but I was reading the comments and all that I found were just people like there was a bunch of comments of people like this looks sick, can't wait to buy it, pre-ordering, like day one purchase for me. And then the only like one that I found like relating to the hate was just somebody saying COD haters, and I was like, what? I even looked at the replies to that one, and there was nothing, like there was no context to any of it, and I just left it behind me. I was like, whatever, like people don't like it, okay, that's fine. And today I looked at it, and it's got 4K likes and 135 dislikes, so it's more people like it than they hate it. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I think that goes to talk about people on the internet in general. Like, haters are generally the minority. They're just very loud.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Haters tend to be very, very loud, and they tend to drown out all the positivity, even if the positivity is the majority. Like, I had to learn that real quick about the internet. And it's like, yeah. So, yeah, like, I'm sure that's what happened here as well. Because
yeah,
the majority of people who like a thing on the internet usually just don't say anything. Because it's like,
true.
oh, yeah, this is good. I will consume this content. And
Yeah,
they're not online leaving comments or engaging in engaging with trolls or whatever. They just kind of
yeah,
yes, I like this and I'm gonna go on living my life. Whereas
yeah.
haters have nothing else going on. So
They're so bored. Yeah,
yeah, they've got to blow up the comment section and it's like that's what they do. So
yeah. I mean, like aside from all that confusion, like it looks good. Like I heard a lot about what they were doing before,
mhm.
like we got even just the CG reveal trailer, which was still cool. But they like I heard that they were talking about doing like a whole weather system and like doing these storms and stuff. And like we got a glimpse of it in the reveal trailer, and it's like okay, cool, but it's like I don't know how that's going to work in gameplay, but it's an interesting
Yeah.
idea. And then seeing it in gameplay, it definitely, it's like, yeah, when this happens, it's like you're definitely going to want to get inside of a building, which that's going to definitely mix up gameplay for sure, especially for a Battlefield game where everybody is outside shooting at
Yeah.
people, like snipers are on buildings. And even in the map that they showed, it was most of it was desert, so it's like you've got snipers in open areas on dunes and stuff. But when that storm hits, it's like, well, everybody, you got to take cover and get inside. Either that or you're going to get sucked up in the tornado and thrown around. uh, but it looks cool, looks fun. And they also made a change to weapon customization and how you go about doing that. It's now a gameplay, like an in-game thing that you do now. Like you can change weapon attachments on the go. There was a clip of some guys after the storm hit. They went inside of a building, got in an elevator, and it's like, well, we got to wait for this thing to get up to the top. Let me change my grip on my SMG, change the sight, get a new mag. It's like that's going to be fun. That's also going to make things a little more interesting, especially with like dealing with campers. It's like, oh, this
Yeah.
guy just you killed me with a SMG. Let me hold on. Let me switch up the way I've got the shotgun set up so that way I can take him out a lot quicker. So yeah, it looks good. It looks fun. There's news of a beta, so I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm gonna make my opinion on the beta. I said that. I said that to some people that I was talking to about it. I was like, I'm gonna wait for the beta to make my decision, but for now, I'm not disappointed about it. It still looks interesting.
Mm-hmm. No, I think
Uh,
that's the smart thing to do.
yeah,
So,
for sure. Cliff, did you see it? Did you see the gameplay trailer?
Yeah, the one thing I took away from it too was the dog. That's my dude.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna front. Like, I thought the dog looked really cool. I did like the gameplay. It looked very, I did like the fact that it did look very futuristic. So I was not very,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like overly futuristic. You know how people were like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get double jumps in certain video games that didn't
Yeah.
go over well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought this looked really good. And then I saw the dog run. And I was like, I need that in my life today.
All the dogs, just pet them all.
Yep, just
Yes.
go ahead, buddy, shoot him.
Shoot him. Yeah.
Yeah, that dog was awesome. Straight up.
All I could imagine was like Fran just sitting there, "Fire the missile!"
Yes,
Man.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Battlefield, and then I do want to mention Halo, which I know there was a new story thing which I didn't get to watch, but there was the multiplayer gameplay trailer that they did, and this I didn't get to play 5, but I did briefly on somebody else's console, but I didn't get to play enough to make a full opinion on it. But from what I did hear, like, people didn't really like 5 all that much, and very clearly, because with this recent Halo, it's been shown like a lot of the stuff that they've been coming out for. It's like, no, they're going back to the way things were, like old designs and even just the way gameplay is. And watching this, it's like, no, this looks like more what I'm used to. I mean, aside from the sprinting and the grappling hook, like that's cool. Like, that's fine. It's new features. That's probably not gonna be very annoying. So it looks fun.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for that. Which I would like to mention, if anybody doesn't know, they did say that multiplayer will be free to play, and you can play it on Xbox and PC.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna get to play that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I think that's going to bring the E3 coverage to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know if there was anything you saw at this year's E3 that got you particularly excited. We'd love to hear it. And before we get Swag, was that what you wanted to talk about, or was there something else that?
Oh yeah, like CG trailers and
general. Because you wanted to talk about this, and you were really specific about wanting to talk about it. So
yeah,
I'm gonna let you go ahead and take this. Go ahead and say what you need to say.
Yeah. Well, also because I want to get your guys' opinions on it. That's also why I wanted to do it.
Right.
I just wanted to start a conversation about it. But the thing about it, because it came up in conversation after E3, and it was that thing of expectations, and because I was talking to somebody who was pretty disappointed with the Battlefield trailer, the gameplay reveal, and I brought it up. I was like, well, because they even talked about like the CG trailer, and I remember like, oh, they got pretty excited about the CG trailer, and then the gameplay trailer came out and they weren't very impressed. So, and then like it came into conversation like, well, just CGI trailers in general, like I feel like they're overdone too much. Like I get it, it's like you don't want to give away that stuff like the gameplay immediately, but it's like you do see it a lot with games that are getting announced. It's like the first thing they always do is a CGI reveal trailer, which isn't bad all the time. Like with stuff like the Arkham games, it's like that's just more of a thing to get you acquainted with the story and the world that they're trying to build, and that's always fun. And it's always awesome to see that. It's like, yeah, we're gonna get to watch, Batman fight like with Origins. Like we got that sick CGI trailer with the fight between Batman and Deathstroke, which I've used a lot recently in videos, and that's because it was good. It was a good trailer.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But with like games like Call of Duty and like Battlefield, where like gameplay matters to get people's opinions, it kind of just sucks to get these CGI trailers first, and then everybody's hopes are way high because it's like, oh, this looked cool, hopefully this is what the game is like. And then they get the gameplay trailer, and it's not what they were expecting.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the real problem in and of itself. I think like you have to be aware of what type of game it is that you're trying to sell and
Yeah.
the audience you're trying to sell it to. Like I honestly like that's really what it is like, and it falls on the developer, and not necessarily just the developers, but also the marketing team for these games. You know, I think they should pay more attention. And again, not to repeat myself, but like if you don't have an awareness of what type of game you are and trying to sell it to your audience, like if you don't know those things, like yeah, obviously you're going to have a huge problem with your marketing, and fans and your audience are obviously going to be disappointed by what you've presented them with in the beginning and then the final product. You know what I mean? Like there's obviously going to be a disconnect there, and that's sort of where disappointment comes from.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like that's sort of what happens with anything, any kind of content that you're trying to sell to people. You know, if you market it one way, and then when you get the final product and it's not at all what we were promised up front, it's like, you know, obviously your fans, your audience is not going to be happy.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, like it's just a thing that happens in any industry, whether it's video games, movies, television, even music. Sometimes, you
Yeah.
know, you lead with a really great single, and then you hear the entire album, and it's like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, it happens. It happens. Unfortunately, it happens. But no, I honestly, I do think it comes down to whoever's in charge of the marketing, and again, whether or not you're aware of how to properly market the product.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's sort of what I think. And again, like, I'm not even really saying anything new. Like, you kind of presented all that in what you were saying.
In what I
I'm
was
just
saying.
kind of like narrowing it through the scope. So,
Yeah.
Cliff, what about you?
You know what's funny? Like I have to agree. Like you always run into like this huge uphill battle whenever you like sell a game so beautifully with CGI, and then when the game comes out, it looks like Punch Out from Nintendo.
Yeah, that
You
also,
just
yeah, that's a big problem.
you can't underwhelm your audience. And the thing is we you as a team, like you have to remember that whatever whatever your reality is that you set is the expectation that people are gonna expect, right? You can't tell me like that opening scene for The Matrix, right? We can use that because we could talk about everything, right? That opening scene is probably one of the best scenes, hands down, in media, period. Like I know a lot of people are gonna say like other things. I'll fight them. I don't care. But that opening scene with Carrie as Trinity coming through and just beating the shit out of people is amazing. Could you imagine what would have happened if the rest of the movie would have just fell flat? Like you set
Yeah.
the bar like so high that you had to reach higher. And I think about like you'd been so disappointed if you'd have left there and you'd been like, man, Keanu Reeves was only in the movie for like 4 seconds, bro. Like what the hell is this movie all about? Like I don't know. But like
Yeah.
you know, you obviously you should, and when we got it marketed to us, like it was that opening scene was really what got marketed to us, and then the rest of the movie just took off from there. And I just think to myself that like if you just downgrade the quality and you just like the Avengers, right, was another example I was thinking about, like beautifully done starting off, and then you got into the gameplay and you're like, oh this is some shit. This is terrible. This isn't bad. This is like I wouldn't put this on my system to make sure it wouldn't get a virus kind of like thing.
Yeah.
Like this is like LimeWire back in the day for our older fans.
Please excuse me from my computer before I invite 17 really cool viruses into my home.
Like,
Oh God.
the expectation is so bad. Like, but it just if you set your fans up to make them believe that they're getting an A quality thing, and you really sell them like a C, yeah, you know you don't get that trust. And I think that when you put out those CG trailers out, and you don't make a CG trailer or CG type game, yeah, you have what's coming to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, like I'm gonna bring up another game, and it's a game that like Swag and I really enjoyed, but like I'm gonna talk about Cyberpunk. Um, like they led with a lot of CGI trailers as well, and the game came out, and amongst whatever problems people had with it, I remember the one thing that people were really giving it trouble for was it not looking the way it looked in the trailers. And they try, like the CDPR tried to be like, oh, that's our fault. We were showing off the next gen version of the game. We probably should have showcased what it looked like on, current gen.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, probably. You probably should have done that because there is a noticeable difference in quality. But and I don't really know where this comes down in the argument because again, like Swag and I enjoyed the hell out of that game.
Yeah.
Even though most people, again, like the vocal minority of haters, were very loud. But I mean, like I'm bringing it up just to be kind of non-biased. Like, yeah, that was a thing that happened with that game as well. So yeah, I think, and again, like CDPR in hindsight was like, yeah, we probably should have showed off the current gen version of the game more than the next gen. And it's like, yeah, in hindsight, 2020, but you kind of have to have that awareness going into something. Like you can't think about it in retrospect and be like, oh yeah, maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. Because again, hindsight is 2020, but you don't really get a second chance to do that. So again, it's just like being aware of what your product is and trying to sell it.
And this is where like Spider-Man learned from this, right? Where like Sony came out and was like, "Hey, this is Miles Morales on the PS5 version." They made it very clear that it was on this version. And so when you saw Miles Morales like without his mask on for the first time, you're like, "Holy shit, like this is amazing looking." And then you had the expectation like, "Well, if I'm playing on a previous gen system, it's not going to look as good as that one." So you kind of already had to notice. It's not like they went Miles Morales on the PS4. Imagine what it would look like on PS5. You're like, well, then it better be better than that.
Yeah, you're right. Right. I feel, and again, like I feel like if CDPR had done that, it would have probably gone over better, just in terms of like the appearance of the game. But yeah, man, I think you're right, Cliff. I think you're right. Yeah.
Welcome to Twisted Metal on PS1 with PS1 graphics on the PS5. Like, no, not at all. I want PS5 graphics for Twisted Metal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so real quick, I do want to clarify something though. Like, I'm not saying like me personally. I think that they did a very good job at like showing off gameplay mechanics in the CGI trailer for Battlefield, because there was a lot of things that happened in that I did see happen in the gameplay trailer. And I'm not even just talking about the thing with the quad going into the helicopter. Like, that's just, like they did that on purpose. But like the thing of like the wingsuit and the character using that a lot in that CGI trailer, and then also which every Battlefield fan, like true Battlefield fan, like loved this moment in the trailer, was the moment with the fighter pilot ejecting out of the jet with the rocket launcher and taking out its pursuer, and then getting back into the jet as it's falling through the air. It's like, yeah, that's not a very realistic thing, but that's a Battlefield thing.
Yeah.
There are stories of players that have done that, it's like that's a game thing. And so it's like, yeah, they did very well at like showing like this is what you're gonna do in this game. Sure, this is a CGI trailer, but we know you guys well enough. You're gonna jump out of a jet, shoot the other jet, and then get back in yours.
And look, like going back to what I was saying, like I feel like that shows an awareness of their player base.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, yeah, man, like I don't know. And again, like, yeah, I it's just we're just presenting our thoughts and opinions. And again, like it's not like you said, like you weren't saying like you felt that way. because
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
the conversation came about like you were having the conversation with someone else, and I'm pretty sure I know who that was. But
Yeah.
but you know, and again, like no shade, but like I know that person is very particular and very hard to please.
Yeah.
So, and I can understand where that conversation came from. So, yeah, man, like no, I totally get where you're coming from, and again, like I feel like it just has to be a sense of awareness, you know, whether it's
Yeah.
on the developer's part or even the audience. You know, like if you're an audience member, you also have to be aware of certain things. You know.
Yeah.
But to be fair, and like I can understand that point. I understand your point, but to be fair, like if I said like, "Yo, I'm gonna give you the best hamburger of your entire life. It's gonna have cheese, hamburger, tomato, mayo, lettuce, and a gold-plated 24-karat gold bar on it." At one point, you'd be like, "Oh man, I can't wait to get that gold bar," and then you find out it's like just gold-plated tin. You're gonna be pissed.
But also, to be fair, Cliff, I am aware that if you said that to me, you'd be full of shit. So,
Imagine if Square Enix would have said something like, just imagine, right? Like, imagine. I don't want to say McDonald's because that's not fair. Let's go with McDonald's, right? We know McDonald's. You can do some quality foods, even though you choose not to. But if they told me, right, hey man, we have this Angus burger. It's gonna cost $15, but you get 2 patties, 2 pieces of cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, and A1 steak sauce on like a ciabatta bun that you can only find in Italy, I'm gonna salivate a little bit. But if you sell me a quarter pounder, I'm gonna be pissed because you set this high expectation of this A quality beef, and I got D.
okay, but Cliff, again,
Yeah.
being aware of McDonald's
McDonald's.
track record or just fast food in general, like, I'm sure, like even with that, like them saying you're gonna get this and you're gonna get that, and you're like, am I really though? Really?
I wish
We've been
McDonald's had
down
a
this
good
road
history of
before.
like selling burgers, because then at this point we can make sense of it. But
No,
unfortunately,
straight up, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. No, like if we had a certain standard to go by, like, oh, they've never led me astray. Sure,
Yeah.
sure, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. But like,
Omaha
that's
Steaks promised me filet mignon, and I got sold rump roast. I'm gonna be a little pissed.
there you go. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with that. But yeah, no, I get where all this is coming from. Swag, I really do.
You get to
like,
ride Space Magic. You get to ride Space Mountain, and it's just like a little bump coaster. You're just like, what the hell, man?
the little county fair roller coaster that you
I'm on
Yeah.
a caterpillar. Like, yay!
that would be real disappointing. All right, so look, we got to keep moving because we still have plenty of show to get through, including some topics that I know Cliff and I really, really want to talk about. So
That's so much fun.
let's get going. Let's get going. But yeah, thank you, Swag, for bringing that up. That was a great discussion, actually.
Yeah. I knew it would
Honestly,
get something.
I'd love to keep talking about it, but like I said, we still got stuff we got to get through. So let's keep it moving. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's get back into the news. I shared some images with both Swag and Cliff today, which I'm sure they've seen at least one of over the past couple weeks. And again, like these images have been dropping for a couple weeks now, and we just haven't talked about them here on the show until today because we finally got sort of what I am considering the big three, unless there's a huge twist, a huge monkey wrench coming, and for all we know, there could be. However, let's get into it. So we know the Flash movie has been filming for about a month now. Swag, help me out here. Yeah, they've been filming for about a month.
Yeah.
Director Andy Muschietti over on Instagram has been dropping costume teases for certain characters, and today we got a pretty big one that we've reported on previously on this show. However, let's go through. So the first one we got was Michael Keaton's Batman, and these images will be on screen for you in case you haven't seen them. which is very interesting for a lot of reasons. I'm looking at it right now. It is okay. So Swag, throw up the concept art we got from Fandom last year.
Gotcha.
If you look at the concept artwork, it did depict the 1989 Batman costume. However, this costume tease indicates the Batman Returns suit. You'll notice the symbol is the Batman Returns symbol, as well as very distinct the chest shape, like the pectoral muscles sculpted on the chest, are clearly from the Returns suit. Also, to notice, there is some blood splatter on this suit, which got people theorizing online that. So we've been kind of sold, and again, this goes back to like how something's being sold to you versus you're actually going to end up getting. The movie has been sold to us for years as being Flashpoint. However, the blood splattered on the bat symbol here, to a lot of fans and myself in retrospect, brings to mind, or my thought was, is this Flashpoint or are we doing Doomsday Clock? Because this has Doomsday Clock vibes all over it.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, even more excited than I already. So that was the first image we got. We're going to talk about all these after I sort of show these off to the audience. So that was the first image we got. This was a couple weeks ago. Very exciting, very cool. The second one we got, which I believe was last week, was Ezra Miller's brand new Flash suit. And this was not like the CGI like title thing that we got to announce that filming had begun. This is an actual close-up image of the actual physical suit. And this image is so high res. Like you can zoom in on this thing and not lose picture quality. This is a great image because you can see all the detail running throughout the suit, sort of the circuitry, everything that's built into it. And I don't know if you noticed, I'll try and get you this this close-up, Swag. You can see little like gold elements in the suit, like off in where the red is in the majority of the body. This suit looks incredible. The texture, the details, it just look amazing. Not even to mention the actual emblem, which is gold, and it has kind of that pearlescent white behind it. Like, oh my god, this looks incredible. I can't wait. It's going to be incredible. Now, the one we got today, Friday, June 18th. Again, like, my birthday is tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, the 19th. And I talked about earlier how I found out that the Great Days cover of one of my favorite songs of all time is going to be featured on the Batman Dark Knight's death metal soundtrack that's being released. Like how that was such a great like early birthday present. This image we got today, again, great early birthday present for me. We got the first look at Sasha Calle's Supergirl suit. And it does not disappoint, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this image is super high res, and you can really see all the fine textures and details. Again, it looks very much like Henry Cavill's Superman suit. It even has the Kryptonian script running through the S on the shield. However, there is one notable difference. Down on the bottom, where the S kind of curves up on its final, the final curve, it kind of goes up into sort of the middle section of the S, which Henry's did not. And look, I think it looks cool. I think it's awesome. It's obviously it's a variation on, and I think that was on purpose. I think it's supposed to be a familial thing. This is the family crest, but Supergirl being his cousin, I think it makes sense that hers would look slightly different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So look, I think this looks incredible. I think it's awesome. I can't wait to see the full suit again. Like I can't wait to see either of these actors, these characters in their full suit. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see the movie. But yeah, so now that I've sort of walked everyone through all of this, I'm gonna throw this over to Swag. Swag, what do you think about this? These teases, these images? Yeah, just go ahead, take it away, man.
Okay. So it's again like to start from the beginning, like with the bat symbol and the suit. That's kind of an interesting thing to me because that just looks like my childhood. So that plays to my well, I think all of our nostalgia. But it also like I love the detail of like all the dirt and all the wear on it.
Yes.
And that is amazing. It's like, yeah, like, you know, a great way to show that he's been at it for years is to have the suit be worn and have all this grime and stuff on it. It looks really good, and especially just the lighting on it. Like the yellow really pops on this.
Yeah. And the light coming through the blood that splattered also just really makes it pop.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, you know, like I was already excited to get to see this version of the character again on screen, and especially with, you know, Ezra's Flash and like with this universe that we've been used to seeing for the past couple of years. Like, it's going to be great to see how these characters interact.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like that's cool. I love that. And then to the Flash symbol and like all of that stuff. That's, yeah, like I was gonna mention, like the circuit design in it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like that's, and again, like lighting, like they picked like the right, where they, you know, like the right angles to have to shine the light on these. Like this, again, like you mentioning like the gold in the like the lines and everywhere else in the suit, and like the symbol, like the gold on the lightning bolt, and then the white kind of silver color behind it. That looks really good. Like that's really eye-catching. Like I think that was the first thing I noticed when I first saw it, was just the way that those two colors play with each other. Like that looks really nice. And again, like like going into like how close up you can get. Like I love seeing all the detail on the metal.
Yeah.
That looks really cool.
Yeah.
And then, you know, last but definitely not least, the Supergirl suit.
Yeah.
I love the two-tone. With the top with the red and then the lower being the blue. That's really cool. That's unexpected, but like that's like, I'm glad they did that, because like I can't wait to see what this is gonna look like in action.
Yeah.
But also like, yeah, like the shield, like the crest, it looks like the gold specifically, and not even just like in its own separate spot, like even like the way it fades from the red to that gold shine. That's really cool. I really love that.
Yeah. It looks incredible, man, and I also love that the red that's on top is like a different red than what's on the shield. Like it's very cool. It makes everything, just the contrast between the colors there. It's incredible. It's very eye. Cliff, what about you?
Yeah, so you guys, I feel like you guys touched on like everything about the suits that I like. Hey, it's crazy. Like I love the detail for the Batman suit, obviously, and yes, I do feel like it is much of a returns versus like the OG. I just like how the yellow really does pop in it, and then, you know, testament to Swag saying it looks gritty, which I really like too. Just like it's been through some stuff, so I definitely hyped about that. Flash, I feel like we've talked about this like numerous times with his suit. It's just a digital look to it, and the design. I'm all about it, man. I love the circuit look to it. So I'm very much very much of the motherboard looking suit. I'm very hyped on.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Supergirl. This is like the newest one to me, so I have to agree with you guys on everything, man. I love the red and blue fade. I love the fact that we have like 2 different color reds up on the shoulders, and then obviously for the S. And then I love the gold. The gold pops behind, or makes the S pop even more. So I'm very much hyped about seeing like all 3 suits, and just digitally they look incredible. So I can't wait to get my hands on like a little bit more high detail photos, because I'd love to see how deep I can go before we start losing pixels.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, you guys all like, yeah, that's also, I love, like, because Cliff was just talking about it here with like the gold and hearing Swag talk about it. It's interesting, like the Flash has gold on his emblem. Supergirl obviously has gold on hers, and I know Batman's is yellow, but like it's not that much different from a gold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I was just noticing that just now, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I mean, you know, that's just inherent to the characters or whatever. But it's like, that's pretty cool. That's a nice little running theme.
Yeah.
No, I think these look incredible. I can't wait to see the movie. I can't wait to see, you know, like Cliff said, I can't wait until we get some other high-res images, and I can't wait until we see some footage. Like I'm super excited. Like Swag was saying, Michael Keaton, Batman, that's my childhood right there. So obviously I'm going to be excited about his return in whatever capacity it is. Like it's just going to be great. Yeah, it's this movie. And again, like not to compare, because like everybody, again, there's still rumors of like Spider-Verse over there happening on Spider-Man, and like Tobey Maguire, he might be in it, he might not be. Andrew Garfield, whatever. I like that this movie is not like hiding
it. Yeah.
No, yeah, Michael Keaton. Like here's the suit. You know, you want to like there it is. I don't know how much more we can confirm. Like that's cool. I like that. I like that they're not playing like peekaboo with the fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's really cool. But yeah, no, I'm super excited for this movie. I have been for a long time, and I'm more excited now. Like we know it's happening. We know it's happening. This movie has been delayed so many times. We've lost so many directors and writers, and for the longest time, this was one of those ones where it's like, this is the one I'm looking forward to the most, and this is the one that seems like it's probably never going to happen. But they're filming, like they've been filming for almost a month now, and it's just like, all right, it's happening. So I'm very, very, very excited about that. Let's talk. Let's go ahead and file this next subject under TV time. Cliff, this is the one you've been waiting for. It all stemmed out of one of our favorite TV shows.
Also, not safe for work. Like maybe we want to put that out there.
Yeah, anyone like if you're watching this or listening to it while you're at work, maybe turn it down or turn it off and finish it. So let's talk about it. Again, I don't know if Swag knows exactly what happened here. I kind of vaguely alluded to it when I was talking to him. So on was it Monday, Cliff? It was Monday.
It was Monday.
It was Monday. A story came out that Harley Quinn season 3. The writers, I don't know, the people behind the show were asked to remove a certain joke or a scene from season 3 that involved Batman performing oral sex on Catwoman. And the reason being, or the reason given being that heroes don't do that. And I would actually argue the opposite. I think a true hero would absolutely, especially for someone they love. Okay. But so, needless to say, I opened up Twitter and I saw Batman was trending, and I was like, oh boy, let's see what's happening here. Opened up that tab, and I was like, okay, well, this is certainly not a conversation I expected to be having, but here we are. And also, like, the thing that really made this a stupid disagreement to have is it's on Harley Quinn, where that kind of stuff happens all the time on that show. Like, have you not seen the show? have you not seen the show? The show is very very adult oriented. And again, like I was telling Swag, I was like, it's really stupid of them to be like, hey, we don't want you to make that joke. But it's like it's okay for like the joke about Batman, you know, having intercourse with bats in the Batcave. Like that joke was okay. Like I don't understand the thinking behind this. But regardless, that's sort of where everything started. To say that this conversation then ballooned out of control online, as it usually does, would be an understatement.
Well, and also, they can't say Bruce isn't a responsible parent considering he avoided having the talk with Damian in the show.
Right? Like very clearly just ran out of the conversation. But yeah, so Cliff, I don't know where you want to take this conversation. We'll get to it in a bit, but I think this conversation reached its apex last night, or yesterday, I should say, yesterday, when none other than Zack Snyder entered the chat.
Yes.
Came in, did not disappoint because Zack Snyder never disappoints. Swag. Okay, so again, I don't know if we're gonna get in trouble for putting this artwork up during this episode. I hope we don't. If we do, apologies. Zack Snyder, like I said, he kind of came in with a piece of artwork and one word. Okay, the artwork being, well, it should be up on screen, and if it's not, you guys can go check him out on his Twitter account or his Vero account. All right, I'm not going to describe it.
As of right now, it's his top comment. It's his top tweet.
It's his biggest tweet of all time. It's a piece of artwork that he had commissioned for this very purpose. And one word, canon. And I think at that point, we all were just like, well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night. Yeah, this tweet was retweeted and liked and so many comments. Like I said, this got out of hand real quick as well. But yeah, so Cliff, I'm going to go ahead and throw this over to you because you clearly have thoughts and opinions on this entire thing. Take it away, man.
All right, so let's just get in the jump, right? So the reason why it was weird too because Warner Brothers was like, "Hey, yo, that's a great joke," and then DC was like, "Listen, we're trying to sell toys, okay? And it's hard to sell toys when you have this joke being made about Batman going down on Catwoman." And all I could think to myself was, "Who the fuck lets their kid watch Harley Quinn?"
Yeah.
This is clearly an adult show. It says TVMA up in the top corner whenever you turn it on. I was like, quit being stupid, DC. That's what it is.
And not to undermine your argument, which is a great argument, great point, but didn't you let your daughter watch
Oh, yeah. Oh, I 100 will take responsibility. Yes, the very first episode, the first 10 minutes where he's breaking bones out of skin, that was the last part she saw of it. She didn't know what else happened.
It was over at that point.
Because at that point, I was like, that's all I win. It could be fun. We'll see what happens. Soon as I saw someone's face go through a bone, I was like, you know what, kid? You can't watch this no more.
You know,
That's where I drew the line.
No,
When he ta-da'd somebody.
I'm with you, Cliff, because like the idea that like, oh, we're trying to sell toys to kids. You guys aren't even selling toys from this show, so I have not seen any merch aside from like T-shirts on the DC website for this show. So the whole argument behind not letting them do this joke is incredibly thin and flimsy. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I really don't know where. Look, I'm on Zach's side as I normally am. Like, just let it happen, all right? Like,
But like where DC's like, it's a thing that heroes don't do. Like, you mean to tell me that Harley Quinn stayed with Joker because Joker was going down on Quinn so much that she couldn't leave? That's why she stayed with him? Like, that's a weird fucking argument to have.
A very weird argument. Yeah.
Like, are you gonna tell me that Batwoman doesn't go down on her partner? Like, is that what we're saying? Like, at this point, like, there's so many holes now that DC has opened up that I'm just like, I don't get it.
I don't understand you
And
people.
that's exactly what I'm saying, Cliff, because like even like writers and artists on their comic books have straight up, like, I can't remember who it was, but he tweeted like, I've written Batman, and he absolutely does. And I'm just like, thank you. Like, that's really all the rebuttal you need right there. So,
That's the problem. And so it became like a big joke because Chaz's favorite superhero is Batman. And so like I've been running Chaz into the ground. He's like Batman's the greatest superhero of all time. I was like, he's not a superhero because he doesn't go down on Catwoman. I was like, and that's why I like Superman, because clearly Clark gets down. He has 2 kids in a TV show. That means he's at least putting in work. That also means he's probably checking out some oral fixations that he could be doing on her as well. I was like, so fuck out of here with your Batman argument. That shit's dead. I was like, Green Lantern, that dude can make a green tongue out of his ring. You know, he's doing his thing.
Oh.
Batman's scared of pussy. That's what it is.
oh my
To me, I just like it's like a dumb argument because I know Batman clearly is gonna be getting down with the get down, but I was just like, the fact that DC was like, you can't make that joke, and Warner Brothers was like, oh, make that joke. I was like, yo, what?
Well, my favorite thing, like, cause like to sort of bring it to what you were saying, it like Zack Snyder came in, just like demolished the entire thing, right? My favorite thing was someone tweeted out, our first clue should have been Superman getting in the bathtub with Lois. Like, that's how we knew Zack Snyder knows what's up. It's like, I was like, yeah, straight up. Like, he's not afraid to go there.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like even Val Kilmer put up that tweet where he was like, he's like, does he or doesn't he? And it had the scene with him and Nicole Kidman where she's walking around. She's like, I don't know, but I could bring a bottle of wine and we could try it. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Straight up. Look.
What was that dude's name who kept doing a comedy special about Batman? He always did the Batman thing, but he was making fun of Batman and Bane and their conversation with Talia, and he was just like, it really packs the flavor in because of all the rubber, if you know what I mean. Like, that's a thing. You know that Batman's getting down. You mean to tell me that Harley Quinn's Batman's not getting down? This is a shame. Like, that's a joke in itself that needs to be written for season 4.
Straight up.
Or Titans.
Or here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they quickly wrote in a joke about this whole thing for season 3.
Yeah.
Like, straight up.
Just like they did
okay,
with just like the 2 nerds in season 1.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh man.
You know, Batman doesn't get down with anybody like that. He doesn't go down on any of the superheroes. He doesn't do it.
No, I was so tempted to like tweet at Ben Affleck and be like, "Hey, would you care to comment on this?" But in the hopes that he would just be like, yeah, of course he does. Like, what do you?
I need Brody Lee to comment on this.
Yeah. Oh,
Where's
man.
Brody at when you need him?
That was the other thing too. I was waiting for Kevin Smith to get involved in this. I haven't heard. Look, I'm sure he's going to talk about it on his podcast this week, so I can't wait to see this week's episode just for that. But like, not a single tweet from Kevin Smith. Like, I don't. All right, whatever.
You know, he's just sitting back here though, like this, just waiting. He's just grinning.
He's
So he's like, I can't wait to dive into this topic.
like, I can't wait for Mark to bring this up this week because I am going to just let it all out. All right, I know Cliff and I have sort of, but Swag, do you want to comment on this?
I think you guys got this one.
think we pretty much yeah.
And that's what the blood is. That's on his bat suit.
That's where Cliff was waiting to tie it all back. All
God.
right. Okay.
No one's gonna look at that suit ever again. If they listen to our podcast and go back to like the folk, they're never looking at that suit again.
Cliff ruined it or made it better.
Depends on who you ask.
Just say which one. So
Strengthen an argument, weaken another is what I do.
I will say this whole entire bit, like, my face hurts.
no, straight up, like I'm starting to feel it. Woo. All
I
right.
look, you've been waiting all this time just for this one topic.
He really has. I made him work for it. Made him stay here to get it in. All right. So with that, oh boy, let us know where you stand on this whole thing. Again, try and keep it civil. That's all I ask. All right. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are still in TV time. Like I said, what a way to start TV time this week. All right. So, before I forget, the CW announced when the next season of DC TV will begin. It begins in November. So I just want to get that out there before I forget. Cliff, you're caught up with Loki, correct?
I am caught up with Loki.
All right, take it away.
Oh my god, I love Loki so much right now. So let's dive in. This episode, I just want to talk about how it opens because it was awesome. So we open up in a medieval scene, right? A lot of characters walking around. Find out it's actually 1985 and it's in Wisconsin. It's a Renaissance fair. Yo, but they made you believe it was Asgard for a quick minute, and I was like, this is awesome. And then we find out what's going on. Yeah, so a lot of cool stuff happens in this episode. I can't really dive too much into it. I don't want to dive and like get spoilers away if you haven't seen it yet. So, but what I will say, I love we get Loki back to doing his old tricks. But that's really I talked about it last episode. I'm gonna talk about it again this episode. Like, God, Owen Wilson is legitimately like the glue to this show, man. Like he's so good in his role. He understands it, and his delivery is like anything. It's not like anything I've ever seen before. And I genuinely just, I'm growing more and more attached to Owen Wilson, just as a person. Like I know that he's a great actor and that he's always been typecasted in a certain role. Just this side of him is just so lit to see. So I definitely am hyped. It's very cool that we find out certain things about where our variant is that's what he's called. That's what our person is called, as a variant. And what that really means is that they're at the point of the nexus, which means, you know, where two streams are meeting together and then where one timeline takes off, we find out that, you know, this whole thing happens. I will say, though, the ending really just blew my mind when we find out what the inevitable plan was. And so now we get to see what Loki's going to do going forward from episodes 3 onward. It's really great. So if you guys get the chance, please go check it out. This week's episode, I am going to rate it at a 9. I know last week we did 8 and 3/4. This was definitely 9. Did great, more building onto what's going on. And then we had a great, massive reveal. And I'm not going to lie, I popped for it. So
right on. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching Loki, let us know what you think. I'm sure Cliff would love to hear other people's opinions on the show. So there it is. Thanks, Cliff. Thank you for keeping everybody up to date on the show. All right, let's get into something that I know all three of us can talk about finally, since we didn't get to last week. Swag, I know you are all caught up on Superman and Lois. Before we get into this week's episode, I want to get your quick thoughts and opinions on last week's episode, Loyal Subjects. Because again, you'll remember me and Cliff tried to talk about it without spoiling it, because you hadn't seen it. And honestly, Cliff, I feel like you and I can sort of talk about stuff now, but Swag, well, what did you think of last week's episode?
It was, yeah, like that was a pretty, again, like it's another solid episode. This show, like, it just keeps going, and I keep enjoying it, and I keep looking forward to another episode. But yeah, like, again, like, to go to like the thing that you guys couldn't talk about, which was the reveal. Yeah, that was mind blowing.
Yeah.
But also, like, it was that thing of like, because I remember you kept talking about, it wasn't like exactly that, but it was like, you were theorizing like this. What if it was this? And I was like,
Yeah.
I remembered that when this happened, and I was like, oh wow, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was nuts.
Yeah. So, what would you rate that episode?
Oh, 10 out of 10 for sure. It
Uh-huh.
was really good. And again, like, I just enjoyed it. It was more of that, like, juggling, like, the emotional stuff with all the serious stuff, and it was really, really good, really well done. I loved it.
All right. Awesome. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's talk about this week's episode. Episode 10, season 1, titled, I love these titles. They come up with really great titles. This week's episode, Oh Mother, Where Art Thou?
Nice.
I got to give them props for that. And with this, like, Cliff, like, we can, obviously this episode starts with more elaboration on the big twist reveal at the end of the previous episode, so we can finally talk about that. The reveal that Morgan Edge is
Heavy
not
spoilers.
actually Morgan Edge. Yeah, big spoilers.
Huge spoilers.
Morgan Edge is not actually Morgan Edge. He is a Kryptonian, and not like the other Kryptonians that he's created. And also that he is Superman's half brother. Now, this is where things got. So you'll remember I was talking about last week's episode. I was like, I thought this was something they were going to do, but this week they elaborated on it in a way where I was like, okay, so it's not 100% what I thought they were going to do. It's actually something else entirely, but still very cool and makes way more sense in retrospect. So I'm going to start with, I thought when he was like, he called him brother, I thought for sure this was Hell, spelled H''E''L, Hell, from the comic books, who is, I mean, technically Superman's brother. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. We'll have to get into some other time. That's what I thought they were doing. But here in this episode, almost immediate, so they have sort of it's not really a fight, but he grabs him and they're flying through wherever this is, the Grand Canyon. I don't know. But he's saying like, if you don't join me, you will be eradicated. And I was like, oh snap, that's the Eradicator. And I was like, oh, so crazy. Again, this makes so much more sense because, and I was explaining this to some other people, we've seen John Henry Irons, Steel. Jordan is essentially Superboy. The Eradicator, all we're missing is the cyborg Superman.
Yep.
But we already saw that character in Supergirl, so I doubt they're going to do him again. I mean, they could and just be like, oh, this is another thing, Crisis changed, So who knows? We might see him, we might not. I doubt it. And the fact that we saw a black-suited Superman, albeit an evil version of Superman, I was like, they're straight up doing Reign of the Supermen. This is insane. And I didn't even realize it. Like, what? Just seriously, just the fact that, like, oh, this is the Eradicator, and I'm like, why did I not put all this together? Why did I not this is so obvious, and like, yeah, why wouldn't you do this? And I was like, look, like, this whole thing is like, this is a game changer, okay? It's a game changer in a way that, like, I didn't realize how much I needed to see all of this stuff happen on this show. Like, this is incredible. This is amazing. And spoiler alert, we know John Henry Irons is coming back because I saw set photo of him in a new suit of armor, which looks really cool. So yeah, he's definitely going to be back. And if we're doing, I know I said Reign of the Superman, but I think we're headed more towards War of the Supermen, which is going to be awesome. Look, the fact that they're doing this, let alone on television, is insane and amazing. I'm super hyped. And again, like I'm just ranting about like the possibilities of what we're going to see. Like we're going to get into the actual episode here in a second because there's amazing stuff that happened in this episode. But look, because we couldn't talk about the reveal, the twist at the end of last week's episode. So I'm just getting all this out right now. Like, holy crap, this is a game changer. All right, Wag, I want to throw this over to you real quick. What do you think of this episode? What do you think about the implications of who Morgan Edge really is?
Oh man. Well, the episode was, again, it was pretty great. In a lot of things, like, you know, the stuff that they did a lot with, with Clark.
I don't know if you saw this guy behind me. As the Eradicator.
Nice.
Oh, but I love the, like, specifically, like, all the stuff that they did with Clark and Superman in this.
Yeah.
And that stuff was really great. And, like, it was this episode, right, where he went to the fortress and was asking about, like, why he wasn't told about his brother.
Yeah.
Like, that thing, like, it's like, yeah, like, I think, like, it was more of a thing of, like, him being frustrated. Like, I could have stopped him from getting to this point if I had known he was out there.
Yeah.
And that was, you know, that really hit me. It's like, yeah, no, like, of course he would be frustrated and upset about this. I would too. Because, you know, it's like, one, like, this is, you know, as somebody who's like me, but also it's like, I had a chance, but, you know, I didn't know.
Yeah, it was taken from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Oh man, like you're bringing this up, and I was like, yeah, I didn't even really think about that. Like, yeah, it's messed. Like, yeah, I understand his anger in that moment now.
Yeah.
Like, fully, because it's like, yeah, like you didn't think it was necessary for him to, like, you didn't think he needed to know that, like, because you're right. Like, had he known he had a brother on this planet, and also the heartbreaking thing about that is, like, I know Clark grew up feeling isolated and alone, feeling like an alien, because he is, but not having anyone to relate to or identify with. And, like, had he known he had a brother on this planet this whole time, like, think about how much, like, let alone he could have changed. I forget his Kryptonian name, but Morgan Edge. He could have changed the trajectory of his life, you know, and could have avoided this whole thing. But also, Clark's life probably would have been very different as well, like having grown up with a brother.
Yeah.
Like that, oh man, that is. Yeah, that moment when he's sort of yelling at Jor-El, or, you know, the AI version of Jor-El. It's like, yeah, I really understand that anger now. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You're right, man. That's a really powerful scene when you really stop and think about it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the counterpoint to that, right, is what we find out later in the episode, right, where we'll just jump into it. Superman's mom gets brought back, and she has that moment with Lois, and they're talking about, she's like, why do you like, you know, what is it about my son that you like, right? And Lois is talking about all of his attributes that he had, and she said, even though he's like the world's greatest, first and world's greatest superhero, he's even a better man. And the problem is, though, is that when you look at Tal-Rho, when he showed up, like, he was being shot at, like, people did not like him. So his view of the world was already tainted. Whereas, like, when Cal shows up, his world gets shaped a little differently because of the people who brought him in. But imagine what would have happened if he'd gone and found his brother, his half brother, at like a young age or like even a little younger of age, that influence could have gone the other way too. Like he could have just went, you know
Yeah.
what, Tal, I'm right with Tal. Like my brother's being shot at. We need to get all these people and destroy them. So it could have like shifted the other way. I do kind of understand the concept. Like Cal could have been like, nah, I want to show you how it is to really be cared about, and could have altered that view, because you have to assume that Tal Rowe came from a loving home, even though his mom left and had a baby with another man, and then that could have shifted his viewpoint as well. But I just kind of think that with Cal, the way he was grown up and raised, like it shows like the two different sides of the world, and that even if they were to come together, like Cal tried everything to make sure that Tal Rowe was like loved, and he was trying to like essentially tell him like, hey, I'm giving you this chance to be a better person. And Morgan Edge wasn't gonna do it, so Clark was like, whatever, man, I guess we have to fight this shit out.
Yeah.
Right. No, and you're right, but I mean, like, again, like the counter to your counter is like we'll never know for sure,
Yeah.
and that's honestly a heartbreaking thing. That really is, and like, yeah, like I was thinking about that as well when I was thinking. It's like, well, it could have gone horribly wrong as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it totally could have. But like, again, just the not knowing of it kind of makes that even more heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So, there's no easy answer to that whole thing, and that's what makes it so great to talk about it. Is like, because you can look at it from one point of view and you can look at it from another, but ultimately it's like we'll never know.
Yeah.
Could have totally turned him in Brightburn.
True.
Bro, like straight up, like I knew Cliff was gonna reference it, because it's like, yeah, like I felt like he did that on purpose to be like, okay, this is Superman. Yeah, we saw that movie too. Here's the Brightburn kid. So yeah, I totally got by. But and I believe I said this to Swag as well. Like when we were seeing the flashbacks, and he had the long hair, I was like, he looks like hell right there. Like I feel like that was also a little homage, a reference. So yeah, man, this episode had a lot of really great, and it again, like Cliff said, it is like the question of nature versus nurture, and honestly, a lot of really great Superman storytelling is based around that idea. Even Smallville, the relationship between Clark and Lex, that was always the argument, the debate, nature versus nurture. So yeah, man, I feel like it probably would have felt a little weird if they hadn't brought that conversation up in this story.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, yeah, man, I really yeah, this episode was like Cliff was saying before we recorded. He was like, bro, that episode, this was on another level. I was like, it really was. Yeah, it really, really was. Also, I want to bring up Jonathan Kent once again, just being like the greatest human ever. Like this episode, I love the moment when him and Jordan, obviously everything that happened with Kyle and Sarah finding out about it, and she's kind of conflicted and like she's dealing with all the emotions and everything, and John is just like, let's just tell her the truth, man. Like, and I love that about him, that he's like, look, man, no lies, man, no more lies. Let's just be honest with her. And I feel, again, I'm just speculating, I don't know anything, but I feel like maybe this will open up an opportunity for Jordan to be completely honest with her about even who he is and what he can do. And I would really love for that to be a thing. I really would. I would love for Jordan to just be like, hey, I haven't been completely honest with you, and here's the truth, Because the thing I love about what Berlanti does on all of these shows is he does like to get rid of the secret identity thing, like real early. And I think that that's smart, because it's like the trope, obviously the traditional superhero trope, is the secret identity and not being able to tell the people you love who you really are. And he kind of smartly gets rid of that in a lot of these shows. But I feel like what he's doing with Jordan and Sarah is a different take, a different angle on it. I mean, obviously it would end in the same way, like, oh, I've been keeping this lie from you. But I feel like, again, John being the one to be like, we should be honest with her because no good is going to come from keeping secrets with her, will obviously set up a good enough reason for Jordan to just be like, hey, I am different. And hopefully that doesn't change the way you look at me. You know what I mean? So, and again, like this show, man, like they've done such a good job of balancing all these stories, and especially like with the adults and with the kids, like it all feels really genuine and fleshed out. You know, like it's just, oh man, I'm loving what they're doing here.
I was gonna say, I love the fact that Lana, like Emmanuel Cherokee. Let's put it out there. So Emanuela, she has to play this role where, on one side, she doesn't know who Clark Kent is really Superman, but then in the same episode, she's the dad, she's a mom, and she's like talking to Kal-El about everything he's been through, and then like the scene happens at the end, and then she's like, "Oh, look, it's Superman." Like no recollection that, hey yo, like you legit had a full conversation about him being Clark Kent.
Yeah, no, that was funny to me. That whole thing was funny to me. Like it was touching because like Clark got to meet his mother, his biological mother. But at the same time, and I said this out loud, I was like, that's got to be weird. His mother's consciousness in his ex-girlfriend's body. Like that's like imagine those emotions he's probably feeling in that moment. Like that's weird. But no, I like, yeah, Cliff, I was also thinking about that too. It's like she doesn't know he's Superman, but then like his mom knows, and it's like that's such a oh man, I don't like
It's trippy.
yeah, it makes you think, oh man, that is crazy. But yeah.
It's like, is there
Swag,
no conscious in me? Where's it? Come out.
Swag, what about you? What were some of your other favorite things about this?
Yeah, it's definitely like Jonathan's, like him kind of becoming this person of like wanting to be upfront about things and not keep secrets. That whole thing has become like a favorite part for me, because it's like, yeah, like, you know, he's like all these secrets are coming out, and like it's kind of he's figuring out and thinking like, well, these have done nothing but like, you know, ruin our relationships with one another. So let's just stop that and be more honest with one another. And I really like that about him. And like, you know, seeing it all come into action, especially in this episode with, you know, like again, like, yeah, wanting to be honest with Sarah about like, yeah, this is what's going on, like with your dad and all that. And it's really nice to see that, especially, you know, it's like seeing both brothers kind of take things from both of their parents. But I think that Jonathan specifically, you know, it's like, yeah, he doesn't have the powers that his dad has, but he has the best qualities from both of his parents.
Yeah.
And that's really great.
Yeah, that's the thing I was noticing about him as well. Is like yeah, he might not have the superpowers, but he is very much like Superman.
Yeah.
You know, the way he's, yeah, like because I feel you said it really well, like the way he sort of he's observed the way keeping secrets can hurt people, especially the people you like. This goes to the subplot with General Lane.
Yeah.
Like, you know, obviously he was keeping secrets about developing weapons and whatnot. And again, like Cliff and I talked about, it's like we understand why he did those things, but the fact that he kept it a secret and it kind of blew up in his face, and it hurt Clark and hurt Jordan as well, inadvertently, you know, to the point where like they didn't even know if Jordan was going to survive what was happening to him. So for Jonathan to be witnessing all of that and seeing the toll that keeping secrets like that takes on people, yeah, it's like you understand why he's like, look, man, we can't be keeping secrets from each other anymore. Like, this is no good. Yeah, man, Jonathan Kent, man, that kid, again, like brother of the year, son of the year award, and just give it to him, like right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unsung
Yeah.
hero of the show.
Yeah, the glue of the Kent family, for sure. 100%. Yeah. So yeah, I dig that, and again, like the thing with Sam Lane, I feel like that, like we talked about how in the previous episode, he comes to the realization that, like, yeah, he should probably put his family first. But I like that in continuing into this episode, it's not like, oh, I learned that lesson and I'm a completely different person now. It's like, no, he still has to struggle with, like, towing the line. And it took Jonathan to be the one to take him aside and be like, can't you just be a normal person right now and not a soldier and understand that this girl needs to see her father right now? The fact that it took Jonathan to say that to his face and him be like, you're right. And he's like, let him in. Like, that was a great moment of continuity in the evolution of Sam Lane. I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This episode, man, look, I feel like we could just keep talking on and on and on about this episode. Like, we didn't even get all the Kryptonians and, like, the crazy, like, special effects involved with, like, the flying around. Or the solar flare. When Clark said he was going to do that, I was like, oh, crap, that's going to leave him powerless. And it did. Be it, he had enough time to get to the fortress, but he was pretty drained when he got there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes in next week's episode. Although, if you've seen the trailer for next week's episode, you know it's going to be a flashback episode. However, I want to... So at the tail end of the episode, we see Morgan Edge and Leslie, and she's, he's like, they haven't taken everything from me. And he's walking into what looks like a cave. We don't see what's inside. I want to ask Cliff, what do you think is in there?
That's his own fortress. His fortress of solitude.
Yep. Could very well be. Swag, what about you?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Yep, that's a good guess. My theory, and again, this is just me piecing together things in retrospect. Like, if we got Steel, the Eradicator, Superboy, a black-suited Superman, what makes sense? What makes the most sense to happen now? And again, I know this is a long shot, but could Morgan Edge possibly have Doomsday in? Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see. We'll see. That's the thing that popped into my... And again, like, I realize it's a long shot, but at this point, anything's possible. So, but yeah, so that's sort of my theory. I think you guys are probably correct in that it's just his version of the fortress, and he might have some kind of doomsday machine in there, but
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. So yeah, Cliff, what would you rate this week's episode of Superman and Lois?
Just for the scene with Superman and his mother, I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10.
Fantastic. I agree. Swag, what about you?
Yeah, 10 out of 10. This was, again, it's, but also, like, again, like, to mention what I brought up when I started talking about it, like, just a lot of things about that they did with Clark in this.
Yeah.
I enjoyed seeing that.
For sure. Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like this was probably the most emotionally invested for Clark specifically, like with his mother, with his brother, and like I said, like even like that confrontation with Jor-El in the fortress, and yeah, man, like there was a lot going on, like just on an emotional level for Clark this episode. So yeah, I'm with you, man. Like that's yeah, I'm gonna say 10 out of 10 as well. This episode, and even just talking about it here, kind of unpacking a lot of things, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, there was a lot going on in this episode. Like it's, but hands off to the writers, man. Like they know what they're doing. So, and also I want to give just a reminder. This was episode 10. So if you're watching the show as well, that means we only have 5 episodes left this season. I cannot wait to see where we go from here. So let's do it. Let's go. All right. So that is going to do it for us this week, ladies and gentlemen. Again, not a whole lot of news, but boy, did we make a meal out of it. We're already over the 2-hour mark. All right, Cliff, let everybody know where they can find you online.
Yeah, you guys can find me on LinkedIn, linktree.com/the_RedDog85. That has all my networks, so you guys can find me on IG, Twitter, TikTok. You guys find me here at Nerds Around Table. You guys can also find me on the 3 Count podcast, and you can also find me on Now Entering the Ring. You guys can catch me pretty much just doing all the videos there, and yeah, man, that's kind of sums up everything, And also in that mural, how do we know that there's not a portrait of Batman going down on Catwoman? It's probably there. It's hidden.
Probably there.
Probably.
It might be there. The evidence.
Circumstantial.
You can tell what was on Cliff's mind this whole episode.
Yup.
The whole episode. Oh man, you know what to do, ladies and gentlemen. Go follow him. Show him all the support, all the love. Swag, go ahead and let everyone know what you're getting up to over on YouTube.
Yeah, you guys can come over to YouTube, Mr. Swagtastic. The usual lineup. But I've got new videos that I've been putting out. Some funny stuff. Really funny stuff. Like Gardic Phone, that's a big thing that's been going around. That's also really fun to record and edit at the same time. You'll know which is which because the thumbnails for those videos are drawings in those videos. Which that's another reason why I love making them, is because it makes my job a whole lot easier because I don't have to make a thumbnail for them. I just have to look and figure out what picture I'm going to make the thumbnail for that video.
Yep. Makes everything easier. All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You know what to do. Go give him go follow him, go subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's a good time. All right. I am, of course, Antonio Padilla. You can find me on all social media at Tron Pilgrim or at Tron Pilgrim 87. You'll know which one to be. If you're watching us on YouTube. And if at any time you did enjoy this video, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe. Hit that notification bell and leave a comment down below. If you're listening to us on anchor.fm/nerds or on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, or Spotify, and anywhere podcasts are available. You can like Nerds of the Roundtable on Facebook, facebook.com/Real Nerds of the Roundtable. You can follow us on Twitter at RealNerds_. That's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Join us next time. Same nerd time, same nerd channel.
Swag, you know what to do.